The draw for Euro 2024 is just a couple of weeks away, so it's time to go over some potential groups that we could see out of this 2014 field next summer. Guys, Matty G back here with you on Football with Flags. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's get to it. 21 of those 24 spots have been officially taken, with the last 3 to be decided in March of 2024 via the playoffs. Now, guys, we could go and sit here all day and talk about the variables and options that could come out of this draw in just a couple of weeks. But to simplify things, we're going to take these 21 teams you see before you and select them each once into a group. Now, guys, you could see these teams with old rivals, previous results, games that we've seen in past major tournaments, all kinds of different things, but just interesting matchups that we could see in the group stage that we hope would really be exciting and have great storylines. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And again, please let us know down in the comments section as well your own predictions or things that you would love to see in terms of matchups, etc., in the group stage. First potential group, we have to start off with our host, Germany, obviously. Hungary, Netherlands, and then a playoff winner in there as well. Remember, Germany and Hungary playing to a 2-2 drawback in the group stage of the last edition. Hungary actually had to lead twice before Germany had to come back on separate occasions in that 90 minutes. Remember, that group of death with those two sides, Portugal and France, was phenomenal throughout the entire group stage to begin the tournament. Keep in mind, of course, if Germany and Netherlands get together, obviously that's one of the best rivalries that we see in European football, in my opinion, in terms of the international game. Germany leading that all-time record with 16 wins to Netherlands 12. The last time these two teams met in a major competition for the Euros was in the group stage of the 2012 edition. Next potential group, we have Portugal, Austria, Slovakia, and another playoff winner. We'll start with Austria and Slovakia. Remember, Austria got to the round of 16 in 2020, but lost out to Italy 2-1 in extra time. A really good effort by them through that competition. Meanwhile, Slovakia had a rough go in the group stage, got bumped out early, but they looked impressive in qualifying, finishing, I believe, 7-2-1 behind Portugal, who, of course, went unbeaten. Those two teams coming from the same qualification group. Keep in mind, if Portugal and Austria meet again, these two met in 2016. It was a 0-0 draw, but again, it was a part of that run for Portugal that was enough with those 3 draws to get them out of the group as the 3rd place team. And we all know what happened after that, going all the way to the final, defeating France and getting them their first ever major title. Our first potential foursome, we have France, Romania, Slovenia, and Switzerland. And this group has so many potential storylines, in my opinion. Remember, France and Romania meeting on the opening game of the 2016 European Championship. Dimitri Payet having to come up with a late winner to give France the victory on their own soil in that opening match. And again, keep in mind, Romania finished unbeaten through qualifying, so they've looked very solid up to this point. And to be in pot number 2 is definitely impressive, in my opinion. As for Slovenia, this is just their 4th major competition appearance, their last being in the 2010 World Cup. Very exciting to see these guys back. I believe the last time they appeared in the Euros was 2000. And then, of course, if France and Switzerland can meet once again, remember the unbelievable game that we had in the round of 16 in 2020 as the world champs, then France getting bumped out against Switzerland. Sommer coming up with the save against Mbappe's PK to advance for Switzerland 5-4 on penalties. What an exciting matchup that would be. Moving on, we'll look at Spain, Turkey, Czechia, and Italy. And we'll start with Spain and Italy, who again have met in 2 separate occasions on very important stages. Of course, the semifinals in the Euros last edition, with Italy advancing on penalties, and then in the semifinals of the Nations League, where Spain getting a bit of revenge as they would go on to win the most recent Nations League title. A very exciting game between those two sides if we're able to see that in the group stage. And then for Turkey, it was a disappointing run in 2020, only scoring 1 goal, getting really knocked out pretty badly, losing all 3 games in the group stage. They are certainly excited to be back with an opportunity to make a much better run. As for Czechia, a run all the way to the quarterfinals. Remember, they beat Netherlands in the round of 16 to get to that quarterfinal matchup before, I believe, losing out to Denmark. Would love to see another impressive run for them, or at least get a 3rd place spot and advance to the knockout stages once again. Another potential foursome, we have Belgium, Albania, Croatia, and Serbia. And we'll start with Belgium and Croatia, who met in the group stage of the World Cup back last November. They finished 0-0 in the group stage, but both of these sides, in my opinion, are very similar. They have golden generational talent. They're starting to age out, and I know both fan bases are starving for some hardware and a major title at some point. Again, with these guys starting to age out, is this maybe the last chance for these two sides to really be very competitive with an opportunity to bring a trophy home to their country? We'll have to see with the likes of Luka Modric and others. Can Romelu Lukaku make it happen for Belgium? We'll have to wait and see. But if these two get the chance to meet in the group stage, I think, again, it's a great game to watch with two sides that still have a ton of talent, but really still starving for that opportunity to get to a final and make the most of it. Moving on to Albania, their last appearance in 2016. They got bumped out in the group stage, looked solid in qualifying. I think that they would at least be a tough out if they make it in a group like this. Meanwhile, Serbia and Croatia, it's a rivalry that has not had a lot of games under its belt, but I think it's definitely something that in the future could become stronger. As you can see there, the all-time record, Croatia with the only win. They've had 3 draws, but Serbia yet to defeat Croatia in their all-time meetings. And now for the final 3 teams we've yet to talk about: England, Denmark, Scotland, and then, of course, a playoff winner as well. We'll begin with England and Denmark, who met in the semifinals of the last edition of the Euros. A fantastic game at Wembley. England, of course, prevailing in that game 2-1. Would love to see a rematch, though. Of course, I think Denmark had a really tough time in the group stage of the World Cup last November, but they've looked better in qualifying this year, in my opinion. I think they've got some of their confidence and swagger back, and I think this would be a really good matchup in the group stage if we get to see it. As for Scotland, they outlast Norway for that second place spot in qualifying. Spain eventually jumped them. Scotland got off to a great start, I believe, winning their first 5 games, but eventually Spain taking care of business, taking the top spot. But Scotland hold firmly on to that second place position, automatically qualify, and looked really good at times during qualification as well. So the opportunity to see England and Scotland play this old school rivalry in the group stage would just be fantastic, in my opinion. And I really have a good hunch that I think it could happen as we see this final draw play out here in a couple of weeks. Would love to see this go down. Again, we got to see England versus USA in the group stage in the World Cup last November. I'd love to see another really good rivalry happen in this group, especially with England and Scotland. Well, guys, we certainly hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as well. Thanks so much for watching, as always, and let us know again down in the comments section your own group of death or groups that you would like to see in terms of the teams in each pot as this draw plays out in a couple of weeks, which groups you'd like to see unfold. So please let us know down in there in the comments. Guys, again, we got plenty more coming your way in the near future, so make sure you stay tuned. Hope you all have a blessed day, and we will see you soon. Peace.